Welcome to the cost leverage effect overview for the exercise for Marketing 432 logistics strategy. Mark Spielis is here. I'm going to take you through the overview, and this overview is going to revolve around Gentex Corporation. So we're going to look at Gentex. Gentex provides the automotive industry with some technology parts. They didn't used to be, but today the automatic dimming rear view mirrors that they produce for General Motors and other OEMs would be one example, and then the camera driver assist systems. Both of them pretty important for the industry. We're going to focus on, for this exercise, the rear view mirror product line, which has about $50 million in annual sales. I'm going to use the Excel spreadsheet and the Word document. I'm just going to overview this so you have an idea exactly what I'm asking for regarding this exercise. This exercise has 9 questions. The questions revolve around the cost leverage effect and a couple of options. One option being reduce the material costs for rear view mirrors by 4% by sourcing another supplier, or increasing sales revenue for the rear view mirrors. Perhaps it could be through promotion, but in this case it's going to be through personal sales, hiring a new sales manager, okay? And that would increase sales by 12%. So those are the 2 options. Here are the 9 questions. I'm going to go through. How much does Gentex need to increase sales to equal the 4% reduction in material costs? This goes to the heart of the profit leverage effect. Okay, so that's the first question. You can apply the profit leverage effect. The information on the profit leverage effect is in both the outline and in the textbook. Should Gentex focus on reducing the material cost for rear view mirrors? In other words, should they choose option 1 or option 2 as part of this? Should they proceed forward with the option of reducing material costs, in other words, outsourcing, or should they focus on increasing sales by 12%? So let's look at question number 3, 3 and 4, as well as 5, 3, 4, and 5. These 3 questions all revolve around the return on assets. Okay, so return on assets really is a measurement of profit over total assets. So the question 3, what is the return on assets for Gentex for the baseline? Okay, so on the Excel spreadsheet, here is our baseline right here. And of course the baseline indicates our assets as part of the baseline. Also indicates our net income or our profit, cost of goods sold. Question 4 is asking, what are the return on assets if Gentex outsources? In other words, they outsource their transportation network. So by outsourcing, they reduce their labor costs. I'll just highlight on the spreadsheet here some of the impacts of that. They now have to pay a third-party logistics provider, so there's an outsourced cost of logistics. So that reduces it increases their total cost of goods sold. However, their total assets are reduced. So what is a return on assets? And if Gentex has a return on assets goal or a threshold within the organization of 50%, do they meet that? That would be question number 5. Okay, so when you look at the aspects of this, it's a matter of your total cost of goods sold as well as your assets. So what does that do to return on assets based on outsourcing? All right, you're going to find the data on that on the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, now question 6 gets into decreasing the material cost on sourcing for other suppliers. So you're going to use this content in the spreadsheet below here on these 4 suppliers. Currently, Gentex is using supplier A. So the supplier A is our current supplier. They're evaluating B, C, and D. Supplier C is the 4% reduction. So when we look at this proposal, the 4% is coming from the supplier C. The reduction is the cost per unit from $70 to $67.20. All right, so that gets you through question 6. Again, use the Excel spreadsheet for that. Question 7, we're into, and this is a bit of a review. An order qualifier for Gentex is suppliers must have 1% or less in defects. Okay, so basically how many suppliers meet that threshold based on the qualitative data here in the Excel spreadsheet. And then question 8, based on the weighted point evaluation, which suppliers should Gentex source from? Okay, so again, using the weighted average down here, once you calculate it, who should they be, or who or which supplier should Gentex source from? And then lastly, this would be question 9, based on should they single source or should they dual source? Okay, so earlier in the class content, I provided you some backup on dual sourcing versus single sourcing. Also think about today's environment with what's going on with COVID-19. Should Gentex single source or should they dual source? All right, so being an automotive supplier, based on what's going on with the automotive industry. So hopefully that helps regarding the overview of this simple exercise for class. Email me if you've got questions, reach out to me. Make it a great day.